Hello and welcome to another Win Daily Show. My name is Michael Raziel. I have my man Sia and who is the proud fan of the Washington Football Club. Sia, how you doing today, bud?
Is it football club or is it football team? I'm actually not even
Exactly.
100%
It's
sure.
so stupid. Who picks football team? Like, how long did it? I think LeBron had a pretty funny joke. I mean, how long were they in the boardroom trying to figure that one out? But yeah, man, I think that's pretty funny. How do you feel about that? We got to open up the show, right?
I mean, yeah, so I got to be honest. I still like the Redskins moniker. And the reason is because I know a lot of Native Americans that also like it. So I know this isn't like the politically correct thing necessarily. And I do understand it offends people. But I mean, I wish there was more of a conversation on both the pro and con
Mhm.
side, because I don't know how much Native American relics we're going to see in the next 10 years. It's probably going to be zero. So I understand that there are some things that might be construed as offensive. I get it. But
Mhm.
I still just kind of think that, like, we need to have some sort of stuff remembering Native American people. It doesn't have to be the Redskins. It doesn't have to be a
Mhm.
chief on the side of the helmet. But let's do something so that the history backs aren't completely null and void of the rich history that Native Americans had when they were here before Americans, or before the country was colonized. Frankly.
That is a really well thought out understanding of what's going on. And now I think the Cleveland Indians are. I saw the ticker come across my TV when I was watching baseball. They said I think they're going to like actually have a bunch of tribes come together or something along those lines. I'm probably butchering it a little bit, but have them come together and actually talk about this and see what makes the most sense. So I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, it's the football club. It's the football club. I think it's a ridiculous name. I love that they're doing it for an entire year. I think that's awesome. They couldn't figure something out, so now they're gonna roll with it for a year. So we'll see, man. I'm still excited. Hopefully, football comes back in due time, and we'll roll from there.
It's funny. So I'm reading some posts from my latest tweet. So I thought I was going to be sort of like Twitter famous tonight because of my golf picks, because like my
Hmm.
golf picks, not so much DFS, although that was pretty good for one distinct reason, but because of the Richie Wierenski 80-1 play. But here I make a Josh Allen joke because Dr. Fauci throws a pitch that is just wildly pathetic. I don't know how
Yeah,
else
it
to
was bad.
describe
It was
it.
pretty bad.
John Wall-esque, if you will. I think he's forgotten in that pantheon of people who
Yeah,
literally
50
can't throw
Cent.
a ball.
Usually it's 50 Cent or one of
Mm-hmm.
the like Carly Rae Jepsen, something like that.
So anyway, I got, I've sort of been busting Josh Allen's chops for like quite some time now. And the Win Daily people are largely supportive of Josh Allen because he is a fantasy beast. I got to admit that. But this sort of like this Bills QB watch. They sort of came after me and they gave me some stats, so we had a back and forth. So I got to be honest, I felt like I was going to be late to the show because I was all like in this back and forth with the Bills QB watch people. So
Hey, man.
actually, I invited them on the show
I
because
was gonna
why
say
not?
at the end of the show, after we're done, we're having Austin. So C and I obviously we're gonna talk a little bit PGA. We're gonna talk some of the MLB news that's been happening. Austin's coming on. It's the last Sunday, if I'm not mistaken, of EPL. So it's a gigantic slate. I think we have 10 games on Sunday alone, and then we're having Zach come on. Zach Smith, one of our writers over here for hockey. He's gonna come on and give us some good bets. And yeah, it looks like C is smiling a little bit over there. I don't know what he's saying, but you know what? Let's see. Let's see if the guy comes on. We can have a little bit of an argument at the end of the show. I don't mind it going long, especially if we get some good content out of it. But see,
You know,
keep
what
going.
I'd like to do with the Josh Allen fans, somebody like this guy in particular, is it almost doesn't even matter if you're like he sucks or he doesn't suck, or he like, what really matters is how he stacks up, not from a fantasy standpoint, although we can
Hmm.
talk about that too, but just if we're talking about like real stats and like a
Hmm.
real QB, like how do you think he measures up against the other starters in the league?
Yeah.
Because one thing I was saying is I'm not exactly the highest guy on Dwayne Haskins. Okay. And so if it's me picking Dwayne Haskins or Josh Allen, now there's a lot to report from those guys in terms of they have a lot of years to sort of grow. But if
Hmm.
I had to choose one, I would actually choose Josh Allen most likely. Although it's kind of close. I think the arm
Yeah.
talent's better with Haskins, but I still kind of like Josh Allen better. But so I'm just curious, these Bills fans or these Josh Allen fans, it's one thing to say, oh, well, he's better than you think. Okay. But like, where's his potential and where does he stack up against the rest of the starting quarterbacks in
Hmm.
the league? Because frankly, a lot of Josh Allen's stats, and again, I'll admit I'm cherry picking a little bit, but a lot of his stats, they're not even in some of those stats are like 33rd among
Hmm.
qualified quarterbacks, 46th among qualified. So it's like, again, there are stats that are within the spectrum of a starter, but I'm just saying, like, I'd like to have that conversation as
Hmm.
opposed to, oh, he sucks. Oh, no, he doesn't. He's awesome.
Hmm.
Like, let's have like an actual real conversation about it.
I love his moxie. I love his personality. I think he's a really funny dude. But yeah, I agree with you. Fantasy. Let's do it.
Beast.
Regular quarterback wise. So you're saying he's 33rd out of qualified quarterbacks. I have to assume 32 is RG3, right?
Nice.
Oh,
You
there
got
we
that in
go.
5 minutes
Yeah.
in.
Yeah, there we go. I was letting the wheels turn a little bit on that one. I was letting the wheels turn. All right, that's enough. We didn't mean to open the show up with Josh Allen. I promise everybody out there that we actually have a
I
packed
did.
show, as I said. Well, okay. Yeah, obviously your tweet went fantastic. So hopefully Chris Cody retweets it again. But let's start off. PGA, as everybody knows, Dustin Johnson was terrible and then decided to, I guess, call it an injury. I don't know. I did not see any of it, to be totally honest with you. I've been doing a lot of stuff over here, getting everything ready for baseball tonight. So tell me, was he that bad? Do you actually think he was injured, or was he just like, I've done this enough. I don't need to play anymore?
Okay, so Michael, let me answer your question with a question. If there was
Mhm.
one golfer in the entire universe that would go out and just kind of be lackadaisical and just like not really care and shoot a bad score and then just decide I'm not really into this. I think I just want to kind of quit because that's kind of my thing and I kind of don't care just in general. If I posed that scenario to you and I said
Yeah.
just name the golfer, who would you say?
Yeah, that's true. It's him. It's Mr. Paulina Gretzky.
It's not even a close call though. Like
Yeah.
he is the one guy that would actually do that. And I got to admit, in my picks, I qualified it. I said if you're going to take somebody up top, I would consider DJ, and then I said I would consider
Mhm.
Tommy Fleetwood. And I kind of missed the mark on Tony Finau. I didn't think he'd bounce back from last Sunday. But the point is, I qualified it by saying, listen, this guy's very hit or miss, but he's won tournaments coming off miscuts before. He's the type of guy, like you saw at the Travelers 3 weeks ago. He can turn it on and turn it off. And if you've got the on switch with a watered down field, then you might be in good shape here. And so that's sort of what I was hoping. I wasn't overweight on him or anything in daily fantasy, but that's what I was hoping for.
Mhm.
And I mean, right away, like he actually started out -1. He had a birdie, I think, on his third hole. And then it was like Disasterville from there. So yeah,
Yikes.
he's terrible.
Yeah, I mean, we say that, but he shot what, 20 under, 21 under the other. It's just crazy. You're right. Like there is a legitimate switch, and when he wants to, it seems like he can just go and shoot 20 under or whatever
Mhm.
that number ended up being. And then other times, yeah, it's like I don't know. I heard it was supposed to be some sort of injury. I think that's what they're calling it, but
Well, he
it's
called it a back injury. He has to do that. He can't just say I
yeah,
quit. I mean, you have to
yeah,
say
that's true.
something. And the back injury is the easiest one to say because it's the one that's least visible.
Mhm.
If you were limping, you could be like, oh, I have a knee injury, but he wasn't. If you had something with your wrist, you would have been shaking it out, which he wasn't. Like a back injury is like, oh, I feel something in my back.
Yeah.
I mean, what are
Yeah.
you gonna say? I mean, okay, sure, why not?
So the field is, I mean, he was the most famous person I'd say in the field, and he is now out of the field. So let's see. A lot of people still sweating. You're still sweating, and you got some of those long shots for us, and one of them's doing pretty good. All right, let's hear about that.
So first of all, it's a lot of no names at the top. I mean, this is one of those tournaments that only had like 5 or 6 big names, and then maybe a handful of names that were like, oh, I've heard of that guy before. I know he's done well before, and then everybody else is just like, for the casual observers, like I think I've heard of that guy. I'm not sure. So a lot of those big names, like Koepka did okay, Fleetwood did okay, but they're nowhere near the top of the leaderboard. If you recall, on Tuesday, the Win Daily Show, I gave out 3 outrights, only 3. I gave out a few
Mhm.
first round leaders and I gave out 3 outrights. It was Russell Henley at 40-1. It was Harris English at 33-1. And then I said, I got to give you an 80-1 shot because that's kind of my thing. That's the thing I strike on. And it was Richie Werenski. I actually used the word moxie when I
Mhm.
described him, as a matter of fact. And he's just one of those guys that has been peaking and he's like caught a lot of people's interest for daily fantasy, but I don't think anybody really considered him as an outright because he's just not that name yet. And he might be that name now. I mean, he's really been battling since the break, and he's in first. He shot 8 under today, and he's an 80-1 shot. I have the ticket. I wish I had him as a first round leader because I would have already cashed.
Mhm.
Put $10 on that, and you got 800 right there. But I took a few other first round leaders, but I didn't put it on Werenski for whatever reason, and so hopefully I have a sweat all weekend. I mean, obviously he could have a disaster day tomorrow
Yeah.
and be 6 shots back, and I'm not looking forward to anything, but that's the big ticket one. And I gave it out on the live stream. Like for everybody that's listening, this is one of those things with golf and outrights. It's so easy to bet because you don't have to put a lot of money on it.
Mhm.
Even the 33-1 shot, which is kind of like a lower range for me. I like to give to that 50 to 80-1 shots, but like that Harris English shot, which is still kind of in play. He's -1. I mean, you literally put like $10 on that, and that's a really, and then 10 on Werenski. I mean, you
Mhm.
could have a whole weekend full of outrights that you only spent $25 on. So I'm just saying, like, it is still $25, but if you have it to spare, the entertainment value is pretty rich.
The entertainment value is very rich, and I do love that. I mean, it's been a very weird tournament, as we already stated. On Tuesday's show, there really weren't any names in the field. Some of those 9K guys, and like, I'll be honest, I'm not the biggest golf fan, but getting to hang out with you twice a week for the last, I don't know, like 3 months now, I've gotten to know a lot of these guys, or at least feel like I do. That's how radio works, right? And so, you then saying some of these names, I was just like, honestly, dude, I have absolutely no idea who that is. And it's starting to come true. As you said, there's a lot of no names, a lot of people that, oh, I think I heard of him once. But how are your lineups looking? How are some of those other bets panning out?
Yeah, so the tournament doesn't start until Saturday,
Of
and
course,
that's
as we
usually
know, as we know.
that's usually what I say when my lineups aren't going like super fantastic. So
Ah,
I'll be honest, a lot of my picks are sort of in that even to -1 to -2 range. So they're kind of like middling, like near the cut line, and it's
mhm,
it's really nothing to celebrate. I mean, a lot of these quote no name guys, some of them were like hot guys in the DFS community that vaulted towards the top, and we have some of those guys that the Win Daily team picked. But as far as my lineups, I mean, nothing to write home about, but after tomorrow, we'll kind of reevaluate and see where we're at. And the cool thing is, Win Daily picked up yet another writer who actually this guy Joel, who I think his tag in Discord is Draft
mhm.
Master Flex, which
Draft
is
Master Flex. I love it. I love it.
fantastic. But so Joel is actually somebody who specializes on showdown slates, and honestly, we do showdown slates. The other writers do, but like to have somebody that like specifically focuses on that
Mhm.
is different, and so we're really excited to have him here as well.
Yeah, very excited to have Joel on the team. And as Sia said, he specializes in showdown slates, but he would have won 150K last week if that penalty against Rom did not happen. So instead, he won 50K 2 weeks in a row. So
This
Joel's
is
doing
Joel.
well.
Just to be
This is
clear, this is Joel, not me.
well,
It wasn't clear. Yeah, yeah.
this is Draft Master Flex. Let's
Yes,
call
yes.
him by his real name. All
Yeah.
right. Let's call him by his real name. No, he's a really cool dude. I got to chat with him a little bit. Very excited to have him on the team. As you said, very excited to get someone to put out a bunch of content and information and articles on the showdown slates we're very excited about. And we haven't even brought it up yet. Obviously, everybody should be in Discord. Tonight was insane. Baseball is my favorite sport, so it was so much fun just watching the conversation and getting yelled at. Michael, what are you doing? Get him out of your lineup. Get out of here. So that was a lot of fun. Appreciate Brian, Matt, Jason, Rocker, Goat. I mean, everybody. I'm going to forget a couple people. Isaiah was probably in there. It was so much fun. And Win Daily Sports, we only have a couple days left of our 23-cent promo. We are going to run that through Sunday. And once Sunday is over, you cannot get a month of Win Daily, all access, all the articles, some of which Sia included, are behind a paywall now. All our projections, all of our cheat sheets, and hanging out in the expert chat. But that's everything. Every single thing at windailysports.com right now is 23 cents. So go to windailysports.com/23. Pay less than a quarter. Just text Jim. He'll probably Venmo you 25 cents if we're being honest. And then, you guys have each other's Venmo. So maybe you can buy each other a beer after he wins you some money on LOL. But we had a 20K takedown earlier today by Rocker. Hopefully he takes some money home in MLB tonight, which should be a lot of fun. But I'm excited, man. I'm excited. We finally have other sports back. And so let's go back to PGA for a second. What else are we looking at? I know your secret weapon. Let's talk about your secret weapon a little bit. Who was your secret weapon and how the hell is he doing?
So the last few weeks, I've decided that, I give out my picks on the live stream, usually Tuesday, and I think that's going to switch, just so a programming note, I think that's going to switch to Wednesday, which actually will be better. It's more timely. The golf tournament will, golf tournaments will start the following morning. But anyway, every Tuesday, I've been giving out all my picks in my article, and I've been discussing other picks aside from my own, of course. And I always hold one pick back, and it's an important pick because the one pick I hold back is always a sub 7K play. So something in the 6,000 range, which is often referred to as the punt play range. And it's referred to as punt play because those are plays you generally don't want to dig into that range. And the reason why my secret weapon pick is so important is because to the extent people dip in that range, they usually do it for somebody that the industry has recognized as a guy that's mispriced. And therefore, that player that's in the 6K range might be as high as like 10% owned or even 14% owned or 8% owned. So it's kind of one of those things. You're getting a punt play and that's great, but he has been recognized across the industry. So what I try to do is find the guy that has not been recognized, the guy who has not been studied or talked about in any way. The reason I know I can prove that to the quote consumer is that this person is always projected to be owned less than 5%. And he always comes out less than 5%. The last 3 weeks, it was Werenski. I think he was 2%. It was Shez Reavie. That was, I believe, 4%. And then this week it was Adam Schenk, who was -4, which is 4 back from the lead. He's top 15. And he is at 4.2% last I heard. So the point is, we're trying to find that needle in the haystack. And this is part of the reason Discord and that expert chat is really important, because a lot of these things that we kind of like hold back, and it's not much that we hold back from the live stream, but we discuss that in the expert chat. And so Adam Schenk, honestly, he's doing so well that he's actually a 33 to 1 shot to win this whole thing. I mean, pre-flop, this guy was, I didn't even look at it, to be honest with you, but he had to have been in the 125 to 151. So he's made such a mark. And I think people are finally kind of like caught up now, and they're noticing, because he really shouldn't be 33 to 1. Honestly, he should be more like 50 to 1 right now. So I think like people are recognizing who this guy is finally. And the key in DFS is to recognize a guy a week, a day, a month early. And, here we are. If you had him in your lineups, which a lot of people did at Win Daily, they're cruising right now because they were able to save money by taking a guy that was 6,900. So he was just under 7, but still there was a lot of 6,900 guys that were a lot more popular than Adam Schenk. And Schenk is outperforming all of those guys right now.
It's pretty amazing. More people should be watching us, because you just continue to make money. So I don't know, man. I don't know why everybody isn't just paying attention to what you're doing is beyond me. We also, it's just crazy. And we appreciate the hell out of you, Sia, making everybody money. And that's what we really, really love to see there. So anything else on PGA?
No, not really. I mean, I looked at the betting board right after the tournament ended, and there was nothing that jumped out at me as far as a mid-tourney bet. I usually wait until after Friday to really like hammer, 1 or 2 guys that I think have, 2 rounds to come back and might actually crawl to the top. I mean, a couple of guys like Bubba at 22 to 1, his ball striking has been great. That's okay. If you were just desperate to put a play on somebody, I think Bubba at 22 to 1, or Adam Schenk at 33 to 1. I mean, he's really good, by the way. You've never heard of him, but he's really good. He has an unfortunate last name because it's Schenk and it's golf, but it's not a bad play.
What do you have Werenski at the at moment's notice? What is his current odds to win?
Did I bury the headline? So I already told you I have Werenski outright at 80 to 1.
Yes, at 80 to 1.
Yeah. That was one of the 3 plays that I gave out on the live stream. And right now he is, I actually did look at it, but I'm going to double check because I think he's 18 to 1.
Wow.
He's 12 to 1.
Holy shit.
So he went from 80 to 1 to 12 to 1 in one round. How
Guys,
about
pay attention. Sia is ahead of the curve. Just pay attention. Listen to the man. How many weeks do we have to do this? I don't know. How many weeks do we have to do this? But hopefully people will start to pay attention. But I do like that. And then one last thing I have on golf. And I know we're not supposed to do it, but I'm sorry. You go.
just before you say the one last thing on golf, by the way, all of this stuff is on our Twitter, whether it's Win Daily Sports or my Twitter page. So I'm not just kind of like making this stuff up about the secret weapon. I literally took the timestamp. I took it out of our expert chat and I posted it from this week, last week, and the week before. And the live stream is on our Twitter page. We actually cut it up and I posted that earlier today too. So if you want it, I know when I hit the 80 to 1 shot on DJ, that mid-tourney bet, somebody on Twitter kind of called me out on it. And because he wasn't so sure I actually made that bet, even though I said it on the live stream and I showed it to him. So, we are very this is like real stuff. Like we're not just like saying we're hitting 80 to 1 shots. We're actually hitting them. Anyway, the one last thing on golf, I apologize.
Well, the one last thing, I know we're not supposed to do it and we're not supposed, as you said, golf DFS doesn't start till Saturday, but it was pretty damn cool. One of our writers here, Nick Bretwish at Stixpicks, STIXPICKS, was at the top of the Millie Maker leaderboard, and he kept screenshotting it as he kept going up, and he kept sending him to me. He finally made it to the top. He's like, I know I'm not supposed to do this. I don't care. I've never been in this spot before. I don't know. It was probably like 5 holes into the entire thing or something. I don't even know, but it was just cool to see his name right next to that 1,025,000. It was pretty fantastic. So hopefully Nick is watching and listening, and hopefully he stays as close to the top as possible. Obviously, we wanted to take it down, but man, I'm sure he wouldn't be too angry with the nice 25K in his bank account. He's getting married soon too, if I'm not mistaken.
Props to him because his lineup was awesome. He had some guys, some low, some quote punt plays that that just like dominated today. Cam Davis was one of them. I think he had Ryan Moore in his lineup, which, he was a 8,100, but not everybody was on Ryan Moore. He hasn't been good in like 3 years. So
Mhm.
he had so many smart plays. He honestly deserves to be near the top on Sunday. So at
I
Sticks
love it.
Picks, check him out. That Sticks with an X Picks, not with an X. And check out his page because it's good for a variety of reasons, but we're hoping on
Yes.
Sunday it's good for an additional reason, an additional
Yes.
1 million reasons, actually.
An additional 1 million reasons. So yeah, check that out. Also, just in case anybody was paying attention to a couple weeks ago, Sticks, Mr. Nick Bretwich, he's the gentleman who created the 80 model here, which we are going to be taking down a lot of money in football with. So we're very excited about that one too. So a lot of fun there, a lot of PGA. Glad we got that in, glad we got that out. So now we can move on to a little bit of MLB before Austin comes on in a few minutes to talk the last slate of EPL. And then Zach comes on to talk some betting for NHL, which we're very excited about too. So Major League Baseball's back. The Yankees and Nationals are on right now as of recording. Here we go. Giancarlo Stanton hit an absolute missile to center field in the first inning, 460 feet, whatever it was, exit velo of like 115 almost. So much fun. I hate the Yankees. I started jumping up and down because I was just so excited to finally see that. But there are some negatives. First, Juan Soto tested positive for coronavirus almost right off the bat. It happened earlier today, which sucks. I think I got him in the second round of my season-long draft. So how do you think this is going to play out, Sia? Like, obviously, with the NHL, with the MLB, or I'm sorry, with the NBA, they're in that bubble. We already know that every single MLB damn it, let me figure these acronyms out, man. Let me figure them out. The NBA has figured out none of them have tested positive. Every single player has tested negative up to this point. They're still going to continue to test them to make sure, but it seems like right now it's contained. So we're happy, we're good to go there. The MLB it's traveling. I know they're trying to keep it, AL East versus NL East, and they're going to try and keep it contained, but I mean, I feel like this is just bound to happen with the sport where they're just going to continue to go around the country. I mean, how do you think this is going to play out for the MLB?
First of all, I jinxed Juan Soto because I was on with I was on Sirius XM Fantasy Sports Channel, of course, with Jason this weekend. You were off this weekend because you were growing your mustache.
Yes.
And we were picking, we spent a segment picking a fantasy team for this slate, this 2-game slate, or DFS team, I should say. And my first pick was Juan Soto. So clearly I put the kibosh on the Nationals' chances. But of course this is going to happen. I mean, this isn't the bubble that the NBA has. And honestly, it wouldn't shock me if one of the NBA guys got it somehow, some way, because it's a virus. These things travel like a little bit easier than people think. So the beauty of what happened today, though, honestly, I see today as a huge positive outside of the fact that Juan Soto isn't playing. I would have expected 2 or 3 other people to either declare themselves out or immediately test themselves and test positive. And I don't know, maybe somebody will test positive tomorrow and they just like, we don't have the results back, or something shady's going on there. But the fact that we didn't have half the team just be like, I'm out on this one, like catch us in a week or two, that's huge news. Because if this had been on the opening night, if this had been like some sort of disaster where 3 or 4 or 5 guys declared themselves out for whatever reason, it would have been really bad. And then all the questions, now those questions might happen tomorrow. Those questions might happen next week, but they certainly, I actually think it's a better scenario for baseball that one person tested positive and nobody else did and the game went on versus nobody tested positive. Like, I actually think that we have a case study and we have a precedent set for, okay, yeah, this guy, he's a superstar. That sucks. But this guy tested positive. He's hanging out with all the players. Looks like everybody else is good. This guy's out. Okay, cool. We're good. Like, it's now we have like something to go off of so that the panic button isn't hit, next time somebody tests positive. You know what I'm saying? So I think this is fine. It sucks for the Nationals because they already had a few guys that aren't playing because of this whole thing. And, I think all of us sort of thought, we've talked about this before on the show and on Sirius XM, we all kind of thought the Nationals were in a bad spot, and they'll be defending their championship kind of next year in their mind, in a real 162 game format, hopefully. So it's good though. I mean, everything's fine.
Yeah. Hopefully he is fine. I think he's already taken multiple rapid tests to see, and he's come back negative, I think, twice already. So they did the contact tracing. They tested everybody that was around him. It turns out everybody else is fine. He got tested multiple more times and has already come back negative. So it's really interesting with baseball this year, the IL, the injured list. I think if you're put on for coronavirus, you do not have to be on there for a specific amount of time. So if he's on there for 2 days, he continues to get tested and it continues to come up negative, I think he can just come off on the third day. Now, I don't know if there's a protocol they say at least 4 or 5 days, which would probably make the most sense just in case, but we'll see what happens. I think it's going to be okay. It just sucks. I mean, I'm a Mets fan, obviously. I don't know if you've seen my shirts recently, but Juan Soto is a stud athlete, and I want to see him play as a baseball fan. So it's unfortunate we don't get to see him play. It might not be for 2 weeks, which you think about 2 weeks in a 60 game season, you're legitimately missing, I don't know, what's 1/6 of a season. I don't know that percentage off the top of my head, 13, 15%, something like that. So it's quickly bang. The Nationals lose their best bat in their entire lineup for a big chunk of the year, and it's pretty unfortunate. So hopefully Juan Soto is okay. Hopefully everyone there is fine, and we don't have too much to worry about. But there was,
And hopefully this rain delay stops soon, because
oh, really?
I gotta be honest. Yeah, it's on a rain. I don't know.
Oh,
I have it in front of me. Hopefully it's a passing shower, and I don't know if this qualifies as a game yet, because I didn't even catch what inning it is. But I'll tell you, as soon as the Juan Soto news came out, I just went on my computer and put a bet in on the Yankees. It was
yeah.
like 1.75 to 1. The line actually hadn't adjusted yet. And by the way,
Mhm.
I got the news from, I'm trying to remember his name. That he has a 2 in front of him, from Win Daily. He's one of our new
Yes,
writers.
Brian Tulloch, 2
There
Lock
it is.
Sports.
He actually posted it in the expert chat. And by the way,
Mhm.
it was posted everywhere else, like, I don't know, 20 seconds later, 25 seconds.
Yep.
Well, by the way, that window is enough time to get to your sports book, virtually, if
Yep.
that's how it ends up being. So all of a sudden I put a bet in, and I'm telling you, I checked maybe 2 minutes later, and instead of 1.75 to 1, it was already down to 1.62 to 1 in 2 minutes. I don't even know
Right.
what it closed at. But the
Yeah.
point is like, that's another reason to get in the expert chat. Sometimes this news breaks with us before it breaks with anybody else.
I
Sorry, I
love
know
it.
it's like a constant promo, but that actually happened.
No, that is one of the more incredible things. There's so many people. We have so many writers and so many people dedicated to what we're doing here. I got the news from the Fantasy Life app. If anybody doesn't have that, get the Fantasy Life app. It's incredible. It has news before everybody else, before ESPN, before Bleacher Report. It's incredible. So I got that news. I then checked our Discord because Brian added everybody. He said, "Hey everyone, Juan Soto's out." And then I think, yeah, as you said, like a solid 30 seconds to a minute later, finally I got the ESPN notification. Then finally the Bleacher Report notification comes in. That's enough time to, make a couple minutes. Rough minute for Michael there. Sorry, Chris. I can't speak tonight. It is what it is. It is what it is. I'm not a
Cody
professional.
Kurtz.
I'm not a professional. I knew you were watching, but it is unfortunate. So we'll see what happens there. And then one other thing about baseball, you gotta love it. Gotta love baseball, Susan. Clayton Kershaw scratched from his start about 15 to 20, I think 30 minutes before lock. Clayton Kershaw was scratched from his start. Ghost and I, our man at DFS_Ghost, him and I were actually doing a live stream when it was happening. We were going over pictures. We switch over. I'd look down on my phone, breaking news, breaking news. Ghost and I had to go back. We had to figure out some of the other stuff. So it was fun to do that live. As one man may have said once, we'll do it live. It doesn't really matter. So that's baseball. They also have a expanded playoffs, 16 teams in the playoffs, which would be a lot of fun. I mean, shoot, it's 162. That's how you know who the best teams are, but they're doing it in 60. So any of those World Series bets look a lot easier now because there's a way better chance that everybody makes it. Top 2 teams in each division, then 2 more wild cards from each league. So it's going to be really interesting. So we'll see what happens there. So put more bets in, everybody. Just put in
Yeah.
more World Series bets.
I love my Diamondbacks bet with the expanded playoffs. So it was 50 to 1 when we talked about it on
Mhm.
Sirius. This is like a month ago,
Yep.
and it's 45 to 1 now. It's still pretty good. You lost a little bit of value. And again, I love the Twins as well. But what were some of the ones that you wanted to put some money on?
It was the Reds. I think everybody's on the Reds, so I think that one maybe fade the public on that one. And the Indians. I really like the Indians and the Twins.
Yeah.
Those were 2 of my favorites. Everybody coming out of the Central because they get to play the Pirates, the Royals, and the Tigers for like 20 something games of the 60 game season. So those are ones because it's top 2 from each division. So it's the top team from each division is the 1 through 3 seed, and then the second team is 4 through 6. So if there's a division that has 2 teams better, you may end up playing, you know what I mean? So like if the second team is better, say in the East, in the AL East, than it is in the, AL West, the AL West division leader still gets one of those top 3 seeds, which is really interesting how that works out. So we'll see if that becomes fun anytime soon. So should be interesting, but that's
And
baseball for us.
if I recall, just real quick, the Indians were 22 to 1. So
Something
Twins
like that.
16 to 1, Indians 22 to 1, and now the Diamondbacks are down from 50 to 1 to 45 to 1. I think just for the fun of it, just for the 60-game sweat. I think those are all really good plays.
I think more importantly with the Diamondbacks, you get Madison Bumgarner. And we know what he does in the playoffs. He doesn't quit. He'll throw 1,000 pitches because he does not care. And it's looking a lot better now with 16 teams. So hopefully people can put some World Series bets in. But let us move on. That's MLB. That's PGA. We're going to bring on our good friend, Austin. Austin, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, guys. How are you?
It's a good day, man.
What's up, man?
I don't think we're going to get to see it too much anymore. It's kind of sad.
Yeah. One more week of EPL. Sunday's the last day. We've got all 20 teams playing at 11 Eastern. Never get that, so that's going to be a great Sunday. Liga MX is coming on. We've got that for a little bit. We've got the MLS is back tournament, and then August is coming, so we've got Champions League coming soon. So that is exciting. I do, however, hate the criticism on my Pittsburgh Pirates. I understand that we're probably going to go about 15-45 this year. That's my prediction. But hey, at plus 14,000, I'm going to throw $10 on them to win the World Series.
You have to. At that number, you have to.
You got to at least try, man. I respect the hell out of that, but it's interesting, man. And hopefully the Pirates aren't quite 15-45, but I really wouldn't be surprised. I mean, are you watching Garrett Cole pitch?
So actually, I was kind of stuck in between pitchers after the Dustin May news. Kershaw, I took the Yankees and the Dodgers and the odds boost that FanDuel had at plus 170. So that was a pretty good parlay boost. And then I'm feeling kind of iffy on that with Dustin May on the mound.
No, the Giants are terrible.
The Giants are terrible. Johnny Cueto is terrible, but it's not Clayton Kershaw, and that's just a giant difference. I'm just kind of hoping this game gets rained out in a sense where I can just lock one in.
Check it off. No, I need more baseball.
I got to bet on the Yankees. I need this game.
Yeah, man. I need more.
It's an official game.
Oh, is it? I didn't know what inning it was, honestly.
It's the top of the sixth, so it's official. They've played 5.
All right, Sia's on your side.
We are good.
You rein this out as well. But awesome, we brought you on. As you said, it is the last Sunday of EPL. We have all 20 teams playing at once. I don't know who's in the running for relegation. We kind of already know Liverpool won. It feels like 3 weeks ago at this point, so that's kind of out of the gate. But talk to me a little bit about the slate. Talk to me about some bets that you're liking, and how we're going to make some money this weekend on the last weekend of, I guess, real soccer, because I watched some of the MLS tournament, and I'm not calling that.
It's not as good. There is still money to be made. I'm going to probably start posting some MLS articles, get some different kind of feedback in there. But yeah, we've got a 10-game slate. Only about 5 of these games really matter. So we've got Arsenal versus Watford. Arsenal has no reason to play anybody important as they have the FA Cup final coming up here next week. And if they win that, they're actually automatically qualified for Europa League. They can't make Europa League on points, so why risk playing Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang and all of your studs? I mean, they're still expected to start, but we'll see how long they actually play. Watford, on the other hand, they fell into the relegation zone. They are tied with Bournemouth, but Bournemouth has them on goal differential. Or Aston Villa has them on goal differential. My apologies. Mm-hmm. So we've got that game has some importance. Burnley takes on Brighton. I'm going to full fade that game. There is no importance to this game at all. So I'm trying to break down this 10-game slate into more of a 5 or 6-game slate. I think that's the best way to take this on. We've got Chelsea and Wolves. Wolves are looking for Europa League, and Chelsea are still fighting for top 4. So both teams are going to take this game very seriously. It looks like it's going to be one of those high-scoring games. Chelsea just gave up 5 goals to Liverpool, and Liverpool's really not – they're playing still everybody, but – it's one of those teams that you don't really know defensively how well that they're going to be. And Wolves got guys like Adama Traore, and Podence is really starting to pick it up with Raul Jimenez up top. I think Wolves can easily score 2 goals in that game. So it's going to be a high-end, high-scoring game in that one.
What's the over/under on that game?
Most over-unders are still 2.5.
Okay. So we're hammering the over.
Yeah, I love the over in that game if it is 2.5. If it goes to 3.5, I would just prefer to go in over 3 and just play it with a push at 3. Mm-hmm. Then we've got Palace at Tottenham. Tottenham should run through Crystal Palace. Sadly, yeah, it'll be 9 games in a row with a loss. Yeah, it's been a rough. We found out we were safe before COVID happened, so everyone's just stopped trying.
Okay.
Everton takes on Bournemouth. Like I said, Bournemouth are fighting relegation battle. A win takes them up and possibly out of the relegation. Everton doesn't have too much to play for. Leicester and Man United actually basically gives us the 4th Champions League spot. One of those teams is going to make it, and Leicester are without James Maddison, so that's one of their stars. I think United win that game and take the Champions League spot there. Manchester City against Norwich, that's going to be an absolute blowout. Probably 7-0. Honestly, at that rate, it's not going to be pretty, but it's a great DFS play. Newcastle, Liverpool. Like I said, Liverpool, you've already touched on. They've won the league already. Not much to play for here, but Newcastle, not much to play for either. Southampton, Sheffield, fade in that game. There's no importance to that. And then you've got the West Ham, Aston Villa game. Aston Villa's fighting to stay up. West Ham's got nothing to play for, but they are playing well. So guys like Mikel Antonio is playing really well. Jared Bowen are all good plays there. But now that we've gone through all 10 games, let's go to some of the breakdowns on the players here. Had to actually get some paper out today because there's so many players involved.
That's old school, man. I love it. By the way, while he's preparing, is it me? I don't know if this is insensitive or not. I don't think it is. Crystal Palace. Does that not sound like an Asian fusion restaurant that like at 11 o'clock turns into a strip club?
Yes.
Oh God.
Sounds like that, right?
Yeah.
It might be around 11:15 comes a strip club.
It's actually funny. When I first became a fan of Crystal Palace, and Twitter was probably a little newer in like the 2012, 2013 kind of area. When did that come out? Twitter 08, 09, somewhere in there.
Yeah,
but it wasn't really popular until 14, 15, give or take. And I would search Crystal Palace because I wasn't sure of their Twitter name or anything like that. And it was Asian palaces and everything of that nature. I was receiving nothing but tweets in Chinese, and
but no strip club stuff. But
no strip clubs. I did not see any strip clubs.
Well, I was half right.
If you looked hard enough, I'm sure. Did you look after 11:15? That's the question.
I typically did not look after 11:15.
Well,
see,
I'm not sure the time difference either, so I'm not sure how that would correlate to China. But
anyway,
sorry, you were saying.
Yeah,
back to EPL. So I'm going to start with FanDuel. I don't think that there's any reason to pay up for defenders this week. With the Manchester City stack. Guys from Chelsea, some Liverpool, Tottenham guys. You're looking at guys that are between the $6 and $10 range as far as defenders go on FanDuel. One of those being a Crystal Palace defender who's going to end up being a top play just because he's $6 and takes on Tottenham. It's Tyreek Mitchell, filling in for the injured Patrick Van Aanholt. Norwich defender is number 2 play. If both of these guys play, I'm probably just going to secure them in just value at $6 and $7. That's $13 you're spending on 2 spots, and you really can't beat that because they're going to put up the most points. Is Christoph Zimmerman. He's supposed to come back in for Norwich, and Tim Klose. So he's going to have a lot to do with Manchester City, even though the game means absolutely nothing. It's one of those things. Manchester City has not stopped scoring goals. They still put up 5 on Watford the other day. And Watford had everything to play for, and Norwich is now just playing youth. Got some guys like Constant Goyo for Aston Villa at $9, and then Mariappa for Watford at $6. Again, just incredible value. As far as forwards go, midfielders go, I'm going to sit Manchester City stack. I don't think that there's any way you can go against them, even on a 10-game slate. Kevin De Bruyne loses a little bit of value here. $23 on FanDuel, but he wants Raheem Sterling to get 20 goals and actually gave up a penalty kick to Sterling the other day. So that's kind of taking away some appeal because City win a lot of penalties, and if he's giving those away and allowing Raheem he wants 20. I think he has 19. So that's something to look out for. I'm actually going to rank Sterling higher than De Bruyne on FanDuel for that reason. Then you break into guys like Mo Salah, Roberto Firmino for the Liverpool. But I think actually my top play this week is probably going to be Heung-min Son for Tottenham. $20 against Crystal Palace. I've been watching that matchup for years, and he torments us every match. It seems to be a goal or two each match. There's nothing our defense can do to him. we seem to put Kane in check. But Kane has also come back and scored 4 goals in the last 2 games, so he's right back up there. Goalies, I'm basically going to lock in Hugo Lloris for Tottenham. Palace hasn't really scored in like 3 games, so just going to keep rooting against my own team there.
Or Austin, man. That's so sad.
Yeah, it's one of those weeks, I guess, or months, or couple months. Then I'm going to break into if I'm not going with Lloris, I don't want to pay up for Ederson because $14 for a goalie in a 10-game slate is a little much. We need that for attackers. I'm going to look at that West Ham United Aston Villa game. I don't think that game is very high scoring. And so both goalies are under $10. Pepe Reina is $9. Aston Villa gives up a lot of shots. Even though he's been playing very well and they had a clean sheet against Arsenal, he may give up 1, but he might stop 7. So you're still looking at 18 to 21 points. Mm-hmm. And that's pretty much what you're going to get out of a guy that faces no shots and a clean sheet. So I'm looking in that range. That's about it for FanDuel to start. DraftKings a little different with the whole point scoring system. Mm-hmm. Like I said, I'm going to look at Son as my top play this week. DraftKings, though, I have to go with Kevin De Bruyne over Raheem Sterling, just based on the pure free kicks, corner kicks, all of that nature. But then I'm going to break into some value because we've touched on some of these top guys. Danny Ceballos, 5,500 for Arsenal, takes all their set pieces as far as corner kicks. He's typically good between 10 to 15 points on there, so that's really good value on a slate like this. Dwight McNeil for Burnley at 6,900, and then you get Willian at 8,300, which is it sounds weird saying that's value at 8,300, but when he's been priced at 10.8 for the past 4 weeks against Wolves, it's going to be a high-scoring game, and he's going to have a lot to do. Takes the penalties, takes the corners, takes the free kicks, always in behind defenses. He's in a prime position. And we've got some locks, I think, on defense. I'm tired of playing Lucas Digne. Tired of paying $7,000 for him. He has not done much in the past few weeks. So I'm going to look at Diego Rico, actually, at 5,700, who didn't play for the first 4 games coming back from COVID and played the last 4, and he's had over 10 in all 4 games. Still priced at 5,700. You're really not going to get a defender that's going to put up consistent numbers like that. But if he's taking all the set pieces, someone you want in your lineup there. Bruno Fernandes is 8,900. That's the steal. And then guys like Tielemans for Leicester City, Spilicueta and Marcus Alonso, all within the 5,000 range. I mean, some of these values that they're providing us, it's going to be a tough slate to play only one lineup, but should be a lot of fun. We've got a lot of goals this weekend.
A lot of goals. That's what we all want in soccer, and that's why I don't watch the MLS's back tournament. It's been bad, but it's cool that it's on till 12:30 at night. I think that part's kind of fun. I'll give them some respect there. But Austin, I just have one question before we throw you out and bring on Zach, because it's going to be Zach's dream to get on the show. So I'm very excited. with as you said, only a few games that are actually playing for anything. In some of these other games, or even in some of those games where the team just doesn't care, it's the other team that's playing for something. How much are you worried about, that 50-minute mark, that 60-minute marks? All right, I don't really want to play anymore. This is kind of over. How much of that do you expect to happen at all?
It's not as much that they don't have. I mean, they don't have anything to play for. I think I'm more looking at substitutions, especially for Arsenal, where they have that big FA Cup final game next weekend. That is everything to play for. I really don't see them sticking their starters out for more than 55, 60 minutes. And it's terrible because I actually like Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang at his price as one of my top forwards. But if he comes on and he scores 2 goals in 60 minutes, then I say, okay, we'll take him off. That's fine. He's done his job. But some of these games that you can see where after 50, 60 minutes, it might be 2-3-0. Then you kind of have to start to worry that, especially in some of these GPP slates, where people are just stacking teams. It doesn't even matter if it's a reasonable team. It's a 10-game slate. People are throwing 20 entries in and having an entry of each. And one of these teams could realistically go off just for no reason at all in a 5-1, 6-1 game. And one of these players that somehow 18%, 20% could really ruin the slate just based off of the team not caring. So it's not one that I typically play the heaviest amount of money on, where I base it like back middle of the season, how everyone's doing. But it's definitely more of a max entry kind of thing, just to try to take down a GPP instead of more of a cash slate. In my eyes, I know a lot of guys are cash guys. I tend to try to win the $25,000 and come up short. But
at least you're trying, man. At least
yeah.
you're trying. At least you're trying. We had a 20K takedown this morning. Rocker took down 20K
Yeah,
in LOL,
beautiful.
which was
That's
pretty
awesome.
sweet. It's always
one
nice.
day I sleep in. I've been playing League of Legends all week, and the day I sleep in, he takes it down. He always posts something in the chat too.
He's incredible, man. I don't know how he does it. I don't know when he sleeps. But Austin, where can everybody find you on the internet?
On Twitter at AustinHAR17, and I will be happy to help you guys in the Discord on Sunday.
Love it, dude. Good stuff. Well, thank
good,
you, Austin. We always appreciate it. Hammer the over in the Chelsea game. That's what I got from that, right?
Yep, sounds good.
Love it. Good stuff, buddy. Appreciate you, man.
See you, buddy.
Man, Austin's so smart. I appreciate the hell out of him. And now we have a special guest, first-time guest, longtime writer of Win Daily, good friend of ours, good friend of, the whole team over here. We love him. We appreciate the hell out of him. He's a big hockey guy, and he's a big betting guy, which is why I'm really excited to bring him on, because I said, you know what? Hockey's coming back. I think it's August 1st. So that's going to be incredible. We're going to have the trifecta all in August, which is going to be great.
Can't wait.
And I said, you know what? Let's talk some betting, because we have that weird and wacky first round, whatever the hell we want to call it. It's just an extra 8 playoff series. And then we have the Stanley Cup. So let's put some money on. So let's bring him on now. Zach, my man, how's it going?
Gentlemen, this is life. This is dreams come true. This is good. This is good.
What's up, man?
Not much. It's been a crazy day. Seattle has released their new team name, the Seattle Kraken. They better get Kraken, because apparently they are going to take all of our best players. So we'll see what the expansion drafts hold in the end of the 2021 season here.
I love it. I love that expansion draft. So I'm a half and half. I would love the hockey playoffs. There's nothing like it. I will watch every second I can. Regular season, it's cool. I used to be a very big Devils fan. Love your banner right there. And then kind of just fell out of it a little bit. My fiance is a huge Rangers fan, so we always go to Rangers games. It costs way more money. Yeah, it kind of sucks, dude. It's a little annoying, but it is so funny. That's the first thing she said. She's like, "Oh, that means who are they gonna take? Which of my players are they gonna take?" And I was like, "Oh, that's awesome. That's so fantastic." So if anyone hasn't already, check out their Twitter account. Their bio is just like, now that we have a name, we're all trying to figure out how to take your favorite player. So kudos to them. I love the logo. I love the team. I think I'm a Seattle Kraken fan already. So count me in. Zach, just when you find out where I can buy a jersey, let me know, because I'm in. I'm totally.
I'll send you the link. I got one tonight. So.
You're good. You're too good, man. So yeah, as I said, Sia, or were you going to say something, Sia?
I was. I have a really important question before we start. Does Crystal Palace sound, excuse me, like a restaurant that at around 11:15, like an Asian fusion restaurant that around 11:15 actually becomes a strip club?
You know what? I want to show this first. Liverpool, huge fan. They won the title. They got the Hendo shuffle in today, and just because I hope Austin's still watching, Watford need to win on. It's a family love. I know his love for Watford, so thought I'd throw that in. Crystal Palace. I am a trained chef. Yes, I'm sure that's an after hours Asian club that all of the all the chefs end up going to after work and slamming back some sake and doing other countless rebellious.
Yeah, it becomes a strip club, obviously.
Yeah, exactly.
Obviously.
Plus.
Zach, you have kids, right? Just want to clarify.
Yes.
Okay, cool. We'll leave it at that. We're leaving
This is great, because I've been solo parenting for the last 2 weeks now. So to have some time they're watching a movie, they've got popcorn. We're good.
They're fine. They're fine, yeah. But enough strip club talk. Your kids might be able to hear you, or maybe they're watching. You should have had them watch this, actually, now that I think about it. Sia, your kids, we know they are doomed, so it doesn't really matter about them. So Zach, let's talk about it a little bit. I want to start with what do you want to talk about? This is your first time on the show. I want to make you feel welcome. I want to make you feel like you're at home, in your home right now with Sia and I. You watch us all the time. You comment. We appreciate the hell out of you there. Your hair's not quite as good as ours, but it is what it is. Not everybody's can.
What are you talking about? It's great. I have a good hair day every day.
It's perfectly
day.
manicured.
It's great.
Right. Beautiful.
I wake up, I'm done.
Talk to me, buddy. Which do you want to talk Stanley Cup bets first, or you want to talk about this weird and wacky first round kind of thing we got going?
Let's finish with the Stanley Cup.
Okay.
That is the natural progression. So
that makes sense.
Yeah, let's get into some series here. Why don't we start with your fiance will be happy, the Rangers and the Carolina series.
Mm-hmm.
The Rangers won all 4 games during the regular season,
mm-hmm.
and somehow they are the underdog in this series. I've looked at all of the stats. I understand it from a stats perspective, why they are the underdog, but when you've won all 4 games against a team, I don't understand how you're a plus 110 underdog.
So take the money and run.
I like the Rangers in that series, to be honest. Carolina has suspect goaltending. Henrik Lundqvist, if he starts at 38 years old, is a playoff maniac. He's so good. And if they don't, Ilya Sorokin had some of the best goaltending numbers in the league. So they are solid from the back end. Carolina does get Dougie Hamilton back, and the name escapes me. Sorry, hold on.
Come on,
another
Zach.
defenseman that they stole from my favorite team. And
Zach, it's your first time on the show. You can't be doing this, man.
Anyways, they get 2 really good defensemen back from injury. Sammy Vatanen, thank you very much.
Sia, how did you not know that?
Yeah, it was on the tip of my tongue. I swear.
Yeah, I could tell.
I knew the Sammy part, but it was the last name.
The Vatanen, yeah, that's a tough pronunciation. I understand that. Yeah, no, they do get 2 defensemen back. They've got great forwards, but I don't see them winning the series.
Yeah. And that makes sense. I mean, Panarin, I think he's a finalist for the Hart Trophy, if I'm not mistaken. So
yeah,
not messing around. That dude, the bread man, I think one of my favorite nicknames ever. He's from Russia. He doesn't even know what Panera bread is, and I still think it's hysterical.
I wonder if they sell bread at Crystal Palace.
Oh, Jesus. Anyway, Zach, your next bet you got for us, bud?
They might. The New York Islanders and the Florida Panthers. Champions are won by defense and the back end, and Florida has not found goaltending. Bobrovsky, since being traded for a king's ransom, has been awful this year. I don't know if he's going to come back to his former self in the playoffs, but the way he's played this season, I would bet against that. The Islanders are minus 122 to win that series right now. It's not great money, but it's solid money. I think they have enough goal scoring to win that series, especially with the back end of Florida not being great. Florida made some trades at the deadline that I don't think helped them as well. They've got a great first line, but after that, it fades quickly. I think New York is just solid. All 4 lines defensively, their defensive style, their coach is fantastic. I don't think Florida has enough to beat them there.
So sorry, Sia. You're Florida Panthers. I know you're a diehard Florida Panthers fan too.
I swear I didn't even know we had a team. No idea.
Most people don't. You can probably pick up, a 6-pack of tickets for $5 at the grocery store down there. Nobody goes, so you can have an entire road to yourself. You don't even need a mask. It'd be great.
Very nice, Zach. Very nice. I like it.
You
got one more?
You know what? I don't like to go this high. Minus 167. But let's do it anyways. The Edmonton Oilers over the Chicago Blackhawks. Corey Crawford for the Chicago Blackhawks might not even be starting. They have Malcolm Subban from the Las Vegas Golden Knights. And they have 2 other guys that you've probably never heard of. One of them did win a tournament for Finland. So in this situation where you're coming in off of a training camp, that might come into play. But they don't have goaltending. They also have Edmonton has Draisaitl and McDavid, who are, one is nominated for the Hart, the other wins every trophy that there is imaginable.
As he should.
He should. He's good. And being from Calgary, I get to see him a lot. I don't like it, but he's good. Yeah, I don't see a way that Chicago gets out of that series, especially if they don't have any goaltending.
Are they the last team in this 24 team? Like, are they like ranked 24th? Because I remember Chicago was just awful this year, but somehow they're still there.
They snuck it. I don't even want to get started. But yeah, Chicago is one of those teams that got in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I'm in for this like extra. It's just an extra series. Every like those bottom teams, they all get to play an extra series. Those top teams, they're just figuring out the seeds, which I think is really cool. And I'm all for it, man. Anything to get eyeballs on the NHL playoffs because people don't understand how incredible the NHL playoffs are. I will try and watch every single second I can, and I cannot wait.
I don't understand how Montreal is in. They were 4 points up with 2 games in hand, but you had Buffalo and New Jersey had 2 games less and 4 points. So if you add those up, you get 2 points for a win. New Jersey and Buffalo had an equal chance to get in the play, but it's winning percentage. But anyways.
Did you actually think Buffalo and New Jersey were going to win those games though?
Well, no, but Montreal doesn't have a chance either. So let's get some. Let's put it.
That's all I'm saying.
They have a better chance than Montreal. I'm going to put it that way.
All right. So those are 3 bets. We have the Rangers at plus money. We have, I forget the middle team, and then we have the thank you. Oh, the Islanders. I should remember that one. Islanders at minus, and then the Oilers at minus like 160. But hey, I'll take the money and I'll run with it. You don't have to put 160 down. Just put 100 down. You win a little bit less. It's really not that big a deal. It's not that big a deal. We can still rock with it. So let's move on. Who is going to be lifting Lord Stanley's Cup, which I will maintain is the coolest trophy in all of sports. I don't care what anybody says.
I don't know. They're gonna have to remake it or something. They're running out of room on that thing. But this season will be okay.
You know they take it off, right? It's like a plate, and then the plate goes into the Hall of Fame, and then they put a new one on. When then that's how they write all the team names and players.
I thought they were just going to keep adding layers or something.
Nah, it's not a tree, man. It's not a
20
tree.
Foot,
that would
20 foot trophy. Yeah, it'd be great.
Anyway,
outright.
Who's lifting the trophy? Let's go.
So at the top of the list, we've got Boston and Tampa Bay at 650 plus 650. Pardon me. I like Boston in that grouping. Defensively, they're great. They've got great forwards. They've got depth. Vegas and Colorado are plus 800. Out of those two, I think you got to take the Vegas Golden Knights. Fleury's a menace in the playoffs, and if he isn't, they've got the best backup goalie in the business. They've got depth. Their defense is a little bit suspect, but when you've got goaltending like that, who needs defense? Philadelphia, St. Louis, and Washington are all plus 1,000. Philadelphia has been good, but Carter Hart on the road is terrible, and they're not going to play in Philadelphia. They will be playing in Toronto. So I'm not big on Philly. St. Louis, reigning Stanley Cup champions. I don't like them to repeat. Washington, their goaltending's been suspect. Again, I like them a lot. Holtby's a different guy in the playoffs. They have good backup goaltending. I think they can go a long, long way. And then further down the list, if we're taking, the 80-1 shot or somewhere in that vicinity, I hate to say this as a Devils fan, but I kind of like the Rangers in this spot. The goaltending's good. They've got Adam Fox on defense, who I think should be up for Rookie of the Year. He's not, but he should be. I didn't think he'd win it, but they've got scoring depth. The Rangers at plus 4,000 would be a good one to throw $5 on for sure.
There you go, Sia.
Nice. I'm in on that for sure.
Yeah, that's easy. I'll do it for my girlfriend and hopefully win enough money to pay for the wedding. So
there you go.
See how that one works.
If that doesn't work, don't at me.
Yeah, no pressure.
Buddy, you're definitely getting added. Don't worry. I promise you that. So, Zach, we appreciate the hell out of you, man. Thank you so much for coming on, giving us some money, giving us some ways to win. I appreciate it. Zach, where can everybody find you on the internet?
Thank you, guys. Zach's Puck Picks on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. I think I got them all linked up now. So
my God, good for you, man. And I have last question I got for you. Was this a dream come true?
Yeah. I'm wearing a Leafs jersey right now, which is a mistake because it's about 45 degrees Celsius in my house. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, like
Yeah, I don't even know what
102
that
or
means.
something. But
Jesus. Well, you're a
yeah,
chef. You're used to it. That's fine.
yeah, exactly. I got water. We're fine.
You don't even have hair.
No, not on my head.
Stop showing off, Michael. He's got a big head of hair and he's got a big mustache. He's like making fun of people who don't have
Just guys, 23 cents. 23
there we
cents.
go.
Oh, nice.
What
For
is
this month.
you taped that
23 cents.
together?
I might have.
You might have. We appreciate that. What can everybody get with 23 cents, Zach?
You can get a month. There's 3 days left. 3 days.
3 days left.
You can get your first month of Win Daily Discord, all the channels. You can get all of my picks, including outrights and all of the series. I haven't written it yet, but I'm going to tonight.
It's coming.
They're coming. Follow us or get on Discord. Chat with me. I'll talk NHL soccer all day long.
Love it.
Awesome.
And you can talk to Sia too.
You can
get the projection models. You get everything for 23 cents.
You can get all of Sia's golf picks, which are fantastic.
Aren't they? They're
boom.
Great. Good
there
stuff.
we go.
Awesome, Zach. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
guys.
Zach.
See you, buddy. Good stuff. All right, let's make some NHL money. We're gonna make some soccer money. Oh, Zach takes off his hat right as I take him out of the thing. Nice, Zach. Oh, he puts it back on. He puts it back on. Very nice.
I like that Zach liked the Washington Capitals because if you recall, me and a buddy shared a ticket in Vegas. We got them at 22-1 at the time and put a decent amount on it. So I think the fact that they're even 12-1, I think is kind of long. I think those are good odds. The Capitals are a veteran team. I could totally. First of all, there's a couple teams ahead of them that I don't think belong ahead of them. So I'm looking right now. I mean, the Lightning aren't very proven, but I wouldn't put Colorado ahead of the Washington Capitals. I'd put them on the same playing field. So I'm a little offended.
Yeah, the Lightning will choke. That's kind of like their MO. So
they're finesse. They're all finesse and speed, and that doesn't work in the playoffs.
Nope. And that's why I friggin' love the hockey playoffs. Let's go. All right. So this was an awesome show. Did baseball come back on yet? Because I'm gonna go watch it if it did.
It didn't, but the rain stopped. So it's coming back on in like 20 minutes. And then we got the Dodgers v. Cueto starting in 25 minutes. Update on the Bills QB watch account.
Is he coming on?
He didn't sound like he was coming on, but in his or her defense, I made it sound like I wanted him to come on the show like right now. So maybe because of that confusion, maybe if I pedal out like, hey, come on next week or whatever, maybe they'll come on. You know what? I just legitimately want to have a Josh Allen conversation with like a Bills, like mafia, like a Buffalo, like person. I've been wanting to do that.
Jim literally lives in Buffalo.
No, it can't be a Win Daily person. It has to be like outside of our little spectrum.
I get it. I did go to a Cleveland Browns game and it was against the Buffalo Bills and the Bills Mafia showed up in force. It was insane. Like there were so many of them there and I watched them jump through a table, them as if it's like one collective entity. I watched some guy jump through a table and it was the funniest thing ever. We see it on the internet all the time, but seeing it live, the energy, the wind that you could feel when he jumps down and then, you get a little plastic that shoots up into your face. It was absolutely incredible. And I loved every second of it. Loved every second of it. So I'm totally on the Bills side. Plus I hate the Patriots. So that doesn't really hurt, but Sia, incredible as always. As you said, yes, this show will be switching to unfortunately once a week. I think we're going to get it back to twice a week because I have way too much fun. So I'm probably just going to tell Jason, we'll do something else. We'll figure out another show, but this is going to be on Wednesdays now. We are going to have live streams Monday through Friday for baseball and then also for basketball, NBA when that comes back. So one will probably be really early in the day because all the basketball games are going to start at like 1. Most of the baseball games aren't going to start till about 6 o'clock or later. So we'll be able to do that live stream a little bit later. But I think we'll on the PGA side on Wednesdays, we'll probably start it still at 8:30. We'll be able to rock it. We'll throw some other stuff in because it's fun. We'll talk some NFL. I'm sure we'll still do a bunch of that stuff. But the first chunk of the show is going to be all PGA. Night before, lock your lineups with us so we can have some fun there. But Sia, where can everybody find you on the internet?
On Twitter specifically, you can find me at Crystal Palace. That's CRYS. No, it's at Sia Nejad. That's SIANEJAD.
Well, do you think Austin is now searching Crystal Palace on Twitter right now, just trying to check it out? What is on there? Let's see.
First of all, I just think it's a good idea. I think an Asian fusion restaurant that doubled as a strip club is a good idea. Like, call me crazy.
It's always a strip club. You just have to know enough guys. You have to know the right people. to, even if it's like 11:30 in the morning kind of thing, like,
I like where this is going.
Hey, it's going somewhere. But you can find me at Michael Raziel 1. And yes, Bills fans specifically, I kind of want to check that tweet because you were getting some good entertainment there for that one. But you can find me at Michael Raziel 1. Appreciate the hell out of you. Yes, Zach, right in the basement. You figured out the joke. Thank you there. Yeah.
One last thing, you can find us both and Jason Mizrahi on SiriusXM this Saturday and this Sunday, Fantasy Sports Channel. That's 87 or 210. And that is 11 to 1 on Saturday and 11 to 1 on Sunday. That's 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. on Saturday, and then the follow-up on Sunday. We're going to be talking a lot of football and some baseball and some basketball, but fantasy football drafts are right around the corner, so it's high time.
I've already done a couple of football drafts. It's been great. One team's terrible, one team's fantastic, all with Nick's help. So we appreciate the hell out of you at Sticks Picks. So for everybody over here at Win Daily Sports, you can find us on Twitter there. We all hope you make it a very profitable night.